MacVoices is supported by ATTO, the power behind the storage. ATTO offers the most connectivity choices for macOS with a wide range of Thunderbolt and host bus adapters for high performance and low latency network storage connectivity. Visit ATTO.com to learn more. Hi, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices at AltConf and WWDC in San Jose. Folks, I was able to get Oleksandr of Setapp and MacPaw to talk to us a little bit about Setapp because he's got it plastered all over his chest. Oleksandr, it's great to see you.
Great to see you too.
Thanks so much for stopping by. I know it's a busy week for you.
Yeah, it's very busy, but we stop here every year, I think so.
Yeah. Well, I'm delighted, and I know that you were speaking on a panel yesterday here at AltConf, and it got pretty good reviews.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it was useful for anyone.
Well, as we said pre-interview, some differing opinions, but that's why we're here, to share those opinions and see who's right.
Yeah, we were discussing this new subscription topic, what experience everyone had on transition to subscriptions, and we were trying to share our experience.
Well, that's what, of course, Setapp is. It's a subscription service, but it's a little bit different kind of subscription service. So before we dig into that, how about a few details so that folks know what Setapp is?
Yeah, so we started Setapp about 2 years ago, and our main goal was to create a subscription service people will like and pay for and will benefit developers from it. So the idea behind Setapp is to have like a Netflix from Mac applications. So you pay $9.99 per month and get access to all of the apps inside. So today we have more than 150 apps already, and this is not just any apps, this is like the best Mac apps on the platform. So, and I'm pretty excited how we are going right now.
I would say so, and I want to stress that some of the best Mac apps on the platform. And I'm not going to name any names, folks, because then I leave somebody out and then somebody gets mad. But I've really been impressed by just that you don't go out and just gather up apps and throw them in the store, that you gather up the best apps that are well supported, well put together, and very useful. And really add value to Setapp and to the subscription.
Yes, this is extremely important both for customers because they get very high quality products and for developers because they are not in line with some poor made products or clones or whatever. So we try to keep this collection very curated, and we always try to keep the best apps for every job on the Mac.
And that's my experience, and I'll be working away at my desk, and I'll see a little message pop up that this new app has been added to Setapp, and sometimes it's one that I've used and know the quality of it, and others it's like, okay, that's one I've read about, now I get to go and play with it and try it, and not in a demo mode, but in a real world mode.
Yeah, this is also extremely positive feedback that people are telling us. I got to know new apps that I didn't know existed, and we try to discover early rising stars, before they become even popular on some other platforms, and this is very important for our customers as well.
So, how is it going? I mean, there seems to be quite a bit of consumer resistance to subscriptions. And I think everybody has an opinion, and most of them are different from everybody else. But how are you finding the reaction to Setapp and what you offer?
Well, I think it's evolutionally because the world is much faster right now. You have to ship new apps, new features, new updates, and the technology is changing very rapidly, and the business model should be able to answer all of these challenges. So subscriptions is the right business model for developers in order to be able to do that. And beside that, we also see players like Apple with Apple Arcade, with Apple News Plus. So they are releasing these new services, and they are becoming more and more popular over time. So I think the subscriptions adopters are getting traction.
Yeah. There are times I'm afraid that some apps that really should not be subscription based are trying that, and I think it hurts the whole concept because the idea behind Setapp of being able to pay a subscription and have access to 150 high quality apps, that's one way to do it. But an app that I might use 3-4 times a year, it's really hard for me to justify paying that monthly fee when I only need it 3 or 4 times a year.
Well, exactly, and like Setapp is fixing this problem, and by we still allowing these developers to get access to the subscription model, so they get a recurrent revenue and can grow the product, can improve the product over time. But the way it is acceptable to the customers, because they don't have to pay for each app individually. They have one subscription for everything in one place.
So if a developer comes to you and says, "Hey, Oleksandr, I would like to have my app on Setapp," what is the process you go through to decide whether to accept that or not?
Well, that's a good question. We have a form on our website on setapp.com where you can apply as a developer, but this doesn't mean that you will be accepted. So we have like our internal review team that monitors all the apps on the market, what's coming out, what's new, and testing all of them. So before accepting them on Setapp, the developer should have a really good app, a really good reputation on the market, and be compatible with Setapp.
So if you come back to me and say, I don't think you're right for Setapp, or you're not right yet for Setapp, do you give me suggestions on how to improve? Or maybe the best way to say it is, you've gone through your review process and you found me lacking in one or two areas. Do you tell me what those areas are?
Well, it's a very tricky question because, like, if we recommend somebody to do something exactly and it doesn't work out, we will be responsible.
Good point.
Usually, we don't give this kind of recommendations, but still, like, we give chance to developers to come back to us later because, like, each month we're adding around like 3 to 4 apps, and definitely there is a line already ahead for the next several months. So why we are doing this is because, like, we want to keep existing developers happy with their revenue and keep it continuously growing. So we are adding new apps based on the new customers that came to the platform. So if you want more new apps, we need to get more customers.
The very first interview we did about Setapp was with Jeff Gamet and Brett Terpstra, where we kind of grilled you because this whole concept was new. And I know the three of us then and a lot of us now feel very strongly about developers being supported. So if you don't mind, talk a little bit about how when I give you $10 a month, how that gets distributed to the apps. I know because I remember the discussion, unless you've changed it, but I want to make sure folks know that they are supporting the developers whose apps they are using.
Yeah, so actually there was no changes to this model. It works really well, and basically it reflects the behavior users have on the market. Like the more popular apps gain more revenue, and the more sticky apps, the apps with higher retention rates, they earn more. So motivation behind creating apps for Setapp is to creating products that people love and use over time. And this is actually great because it's good for customers. If they like the products, these developers will be rewarded, and means that they will stay on the market for a longer time and they will develop their apps. So at the moment, from each particular customer, we distribute revenue across the apps people used during this month. And also each month has a different price coefficient based on their price in the market. So higher priced apps will get a slightly more coefficient, cheaper apps will get slightly less. And this system works on huge numbers. The revenue gets distributed, and it seems like everyone is happy right now.
It's a great way to do it because and it's one of the problems with some other, well, not Netflix as much, but maybe some cable TV, where I feel like I'm paying for things that I really don't want and don't need. And here, I'm not paying for something I don't want and don't need. I'm paying the people that are writing the apps that I do use. So if I'm using 5 apps out of 150, those are the 5 that my money is going toward. And that's what I really like about it.
Yes, exactly.
So let's see, what else?
This year we have something new to offer. We actually came here to the WWDC conference with Setapp for Teams, and this is the new concept that we are working on for the organizations. We want to offer Setapp as one place to go for the whole organization. Let's say you have 50 or 200 people in the organization, and right now you have to pay each apps individually. You have to upgrade license individually, so you have to manage all of this somehow. And with Setapp, we are planning to add like one organizational account where you can just assign seats to your employees. So you assign one license of Setapp, and the employee gets all the apps, all the upgrades, and can use it for the work. So it's really easy to do.
That's a very cool idea. I really like that. As someone who has had some responsibility for managing apps on multiple machines, boy, that can be a pain. And to be able to just say, okay, here's your Setapp license, and now you have 150 apps to choose from, and they're all going to be updated automatically, and I can go take a nap.
Yeah, so it removes a lot of decision making from this process, and it becomes easier for employees to get any software they really need for their work, instead of like asking to buy some additional license for the software I need.
So do you have a pricing model set at this point for this kind of thing?
Well, currently we are in a private beta, so we have around 50 organizations right now on Setapp for Teams. We're getting feedback on what functionality they actually need, and we're planning to announce it a bit later this year.
Okay, and I know you said 100 people, 200 people. Are you going to have options for smaller teams as well?
Yeah, so the team might be from, 5 people to 200, for example, and then goes enterprise, because enterprise is a kind of different beast. They have different requirements, they want to control everything, and enterprise will be launched a bit later.
That is great. That is great. I hope is the private beta going well?
Yeah, we get a really positive feedback. So at the moment we have like 50 paid organizations which uses Setapp inside their teams.
That's phenomenal. So the website is?
Website is setapp.com. We just made a great new redesign, rebranding, so it looks really fresh and new. So come visit us.
Well, definitely go and check it out, folks. I am a subscriber, and I really believe in this concept because of the quality and the idea that the developers whose apps I use get the support, and then Setapp provides that platform for them.
Thank you.
Oleksandr, it's great to see you. Thanks so much.
Great to see you too. Thank you very much for this interview.
Well, when you have an open invitation, when Teams goes live, come back and tell us all about all the details. Okay?
Great. See you.
Thank you. Folks, more from AltConf and WWDC in San Jose. Thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.